Welcome to my channel Testing Talks Latest. Today I am going to explain how to handle stale element reference exception in Selenium with Java. Subscribe my channel for the latest testing tutorials and interview questions. Stale element reference exception will occur whenever object appears in DOM and does not appear on the UI. So that we'll handle this situation in a application, and to handle that and to replicate it always, I'm going to use JavaScript and to remove the object from the UI, so that stale element reference exception will occur, and we'll handle that by appending the same element again and entering the values. So let me create a class and try to reproduce stale element exception and handle the stale element reference exception. So I'm going to create a class as class name handle stale element, and I'm going to use a test annotation from test.ng with the method name as handle element. Let me define WebDriver, and before that we'll import test. So let we import WebDriver after defining driver as none, and initialize driver with new Chrome driver. In this test I am using the latest Selenium version, hence I need not to use system.set property, so I am directly implementing new Chrome driver in driver. Now let me use google.com for our testing. I am using driver.get to launch google.com. We are going to handle elements from google.com and display stale element reference exception for that. So to handle element, let me open google.com and let me take this input value and see the ID for this. ID of it is apjfqb. So I'm going to define the web element. Driver dot find element by ID apjfqb. So we have the element. So I'm going to hide this element and importing web element before that. So we have to use JavaScriptExecutor to use JavaScript in Selenium. JavaScriptExecutor is an interface, and I'm going to give the name as JSX and upcasting JavaScriptExecutor with driver. Now I'm going to handle the element to be removed using JavaScript. So I'm using execute script, and we're going to take the element to be removed. This element with ID apjfqb. So to handle element, we are going to use arguments 0, and parent of this argument is parent node, and remove child means The object we are going to remove is APJ FQP, parent's child. We have taken one element and take the parent and child of that parent. So it is arguments 0 and with semicolon will end it for JavaScript, and I am going to place element here. So now we have removed that object and we need to wait some time using thread.sleep for the element to be removed with JavaScript. So I am giving half millisecond. So thread.sleep we are going to use, and we'll use throws for handling the exception. Interrupted exception will be handled. So now we'll send keys to that input box as ABC. Before that, let me see we're able to get stale element exception or not. I'm going to catch specifically stale element reference exception to see that what kind of exception we are getting. Reference exception. Yes. So I'm going to print the message as got stale element reference exception. Reference exception. Let me execute our script and see what kind of exception we'll get for this execution. And we're going to import stale element reference exception. Let me execute our script and make sure that execution returned stale element reference exception. Our application is launched, just started executing, and the object disappear here, got stale element. I have added script to handle input. So with variable input type, by using document.createElement input, and input type as text, input ID as APJ FQP, and document.prepend input. So this is the variable I am going to add to the document body of the Google, and I am going to enter the values using web element with ID APJ FQP. Let me run our test and see the result. Our test is started. Yeah, application is launched. Yes, this element is prepended. So let me see by inspecting what is the element is. It is the element input type equal text and ID equal APJ FQP. This is the way we can handle stale element reference exceptions. Since we are not able to get it accidentally, we have used JavaScript to disappear the element and make it appear again with the JavaScript and handle it. So friends, you can use explicit way to handle the elements, so that make to refresh the page properly, and we can able to handle any element. So and sometimes even the application issues occur, such as object will be loaded and page element does not load it. Such situations, stale element exceptions will be occurring. We can report defect if that is valid, or we can handle it with stale element reference exceptions. Thank you for your support. Subscribe my channel for the latest testing interview questions and tutorials. Thanks.